Hey guys, working on the W2 tunnel ram, and I'd figure I'd do a quick and easy video how I aligned the upper and the lower plenums. Now, it sounds easy, but if you go back to the other videos we had, the alignment was quite terrible between the top and the bottom. So what I wound up doing is I lined up the top and bottom best I could, and then I just made some marks front, back, side, where I wanted it, and I bolted it down. And this was actually relatively easy because this wasn't the first time. What I tried to do the first time was I just marked the lower and adjusted the lower. That didn't really work as well as I had planned. It was still a bit of an offset. So then I bolted it all together, and I actually did the matching from the carburetor pad down. And you can see I end up getting a pretty good transition. Now, you have to realize that a burr only works well on the sides. It doesn't work well at the tip. So, as far as you can see, as far as I'm going to go, because you can't get the rest of that curve with the burr having it recessed into this plenum like that. So I think this is the best I can do is what we got. Now you can see towards the bottom, I had to add some epoxy. And if you remember, we did test these on W2s, and they had quite a bit of an offset where the cylinder head port was quite a bit higher than this tunnel ram, at least on the floor. So I'm going to be raising the floor. That one has got epoxy. This one hasn't gotten epoxy yet. But I may do that today and start shaping that. I don't know how much I'm going to work on these today. Doesn't matter. But as you can see, we move the lighting. As you can see, I end up getting a nice transition from the top to the bottom, where I think that's gonna work out nice. Yeah, I did my rougher burr texture because I like the way the liquid flow, and it's gonna be a carb tunnel ram, so you've got 8 barrels throwing liquid fuel out. It would be best to keep it atomized the best you can, right? So I would say you don't have to worry about the boundary layer much on this because it has a huge amount of area on these ports. What is interesting is take a look at how much different those port shapes are at the opening. Right, the one on the right is a trapezoid, and it's very wide at the bottom. And the one on the left is much narrower. And I tried to find some logic into it because this one is just the opposite, right? This one's got the wide one on the outside wall. This one's got the wide one on the inside wall. I'm not sure what the logic of that is. They also have slightly different tapers. So one's a little bit bigger runner and a little bit different taper. Now, did they set it up that way so you have 2 different torque peaks, so it widens the torque band out? I don't know. But in any case, I kept it pretty true to its original design. I just tried to clean it up and make it a little more efficient for what it is. Overall, I was surprised how many hours it actually took to do a tunnel ram. This is my first tunnel ram. And basically what I did is whatever I could get to with the burr without too much trouble got worked on. Okay. Spots like on this side where it's almost impossible to get to is going to stay natural finish. What else can I say about this? Okay, we'll look at it from a different view. You can see I actually ran out of epoxy. I need to add a little more to that. But it's okay. You just take that existing epoxy and run a burr over it so it has a rough texture, and then you can put other epoxy right on top of it. No sweat. Overall, I really like the shape of these runners. They have a nice taper to them. I think it's going to work out really, really well on a street 400 plus cube small block Mopar. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.